The number one reason why I don't typically add people that I know from real life onto my socials is because once they get onto your socials, they think that it's okay for them to just sit back and consume your content and not do no liking, no sharing, no commenting, no type of engagement. They will get on your page and then not like anything.
I just saw another video talking about monitoring spirits, which are people that are like stalking your social media, trying to siphon your energy, trying to sink their little claws into your life. What energy are they siphoning from that? Yeah, you might get some good gossip, but it's gonna cost you.
One thing about me, I'm going to spin you and we're going to go right back talking about you. Like, don't come asking me nothing too personal because I'm going to flip it right back on you.
Welcome back to today's podcast. We're talking about monitoring spirits, part 2. Because this show doesn't end, okay? People are tuning in nonstop. I was sick last week, so I was away for a while, but I'm private anyways, and a lot of us need to go incognito. When you have the monitoring spirit that's in a form of family, flesh and blood, friends, you can't detect it. And like I said, there's healthy people who contrive inspiration from you. They follow your social media, Facebook. They want to follow your every, TikTok. That's healthy. But then you have those who are your family. That phone call, that text to see how you're doing. What are your plans for the holiday? That, my friend, is the, let's give it a name, the secret Santa of monitoring spirits, okay? They pretend like they're coming to bear gifts, and instead they're just trying to get the inside scoop on what you've been up to so that they can report it to the head warlock in charge, okay? The head witch in charge. And that may be your narc mother, your ex-husband, the child's father, toxic, crazy, drunk baby mama, who's tried to cast countless spells and some prevail, but now that you've got your life, you're giving your life to God. Now, you have some armor. That's what this channel is here for, to give you armor against those defenses. Because the monitoring spirits that you expect, like toxic coworkers, haters from high school, that's easy to spot. But what about those who call you up, who have your phone number saved, who look like you, who have your last name, share the same face, okay? Why do they want to chime in? Well, we got a lot of reasons for the chosen ones, because you're the whistleblower, you're the scapegoat, you are putting it on Front Street, and people are wondering which shoe will drop next. Oh yes, we're going to get into it. I've got some reels from social media, how people handle their monitoring spirits. Yeah, I want to say in the introduction, this follow-up was important because there's a perpetual propensity, let's say that there's people who keep on checking for you until you die. They say energy doesn't die, it just transmutes. Well, until the day you drop dead, these people are going to keep checking for you, and that's confirmation that you're the chosen one. Say less. Let's get into this video.
I do not talk to people about things that they have not talked to me about. For example, if you have not talked to me about your partner, your relationship, your husband, your wife, whatever, if you have not talked to me about that, I'm not going to go asking like, tell me about your da-da-da, or what's up with your man, or what's up with your girl. Like, I'm not that type of person. I will literally talk to you about everything under the sun outside of what you haven't shared, because I assume that if someone does not talk to me about something, or they don't hint around at it, or they don't it doesn't bounce come up in conversation, I assume that that is something that's off limits until it comes up. You know what I'm saying? Especially as a service provider, like you learn that people usually, if you create a comforting and safe environment, people want to talk to you. They don't mind talking to you. But I find it to be quite invasive, or a person not having good reading the room skills when they ask you questions about things that you haven't even opened up that door or window about, because one thing about me, I'm going to spin you and we're going to go right back talking about you. Like, don't come asking me nothing too personal, because I'm going to flip it right back on you unless we have that relationship and we've already talked about it. Like, for example, this is just in general hypothetical. Like, if I've already talked to you about a relationship or some old stuff, like, I don't know, like if I've already talked to you about that, I don't mind if you ask me about it, because I already made it known that I'm okay with us talking about that. Or if I've shared with you how much I made, or if I talk to you about my streams of income, like, if I've already opened up that window and that door, I assume that you assume that it's okay to talk about, or it's okay for you to revisit that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not the type of person to ask people questions about things that they haven't talked about with me. I just don't, and I know that not everybody's a monitoring spirit, but for me, I just genuinely don't care about what other people got going on unless they bring it to me. Bring it to my front desk first. What y'all think?
And if you got coworkers who look you dead in your face and ask you question after question, if you have complete strangers who stop you in the store and under the cloak of Christian outreach, Jehovah Witnesses, a lot of these people use that veil, they use that cloak rather, to look innocent, to disarm you. But deep down inside, they have no real good intentions to know that information. So now you're being, questioned and cornered in a Walmart, asking about your living situation, and it's all in the name of good faith. I'm here to help and save and profess all of the good news of God and Jesus Christ. And it's true that it is good news. However, you are using it in a way where you are not fully authorized to approach people in a way where you could turn them off more. You're not authorized to go and do the outreach because there's something malignant in you. You may be, there's a lot of Christian hypocrites who have the profession of woman of God, man of God, and their household is ran raggedy. They are constantly going to church 3-4 times a week. Talking too fast here. And behind closed doors in their homes, they're harboring a deadbeat son and a hoish daughter, and they have all this and that coming in and out of their house. And a lot of Christians mess up where they don't have the boundaries. So now you profess God's word and you have power in your tongue, but it backfires when you have people in your house who are energy siphoning from you. They're siphoning from your food, the free rent, whatever you are offering them, good graces. People are coming into these Christian households and usurping all they can from these women, until finally these women wake up and realize they're sucked dry. Their soul, no one's reciprocating what they've been putting out. They can't practice what they're preaching anymore. Okay? And so when it comes to the coworker thing, don't let people ask questions all repeatedly. Make people feel uncomfortable. Let them sit in that awkward silence when you don't respond. When they ask one too many questions and you just shut down, allow them to feel that empty silence. Okay? We chosen ones have to get a backbone here. Listen, when people call me and they're trying to inquire about my plans for the holiday, I have a lot of love for people, but I have to be suspicious at this point, because if you're connected to someone who I know in the family, in the bloodline, you're connected to them. So my information is on Front Street after it leaves this conversation. You could go and report back. And it's nefarious. It is. It's not innocent. You're reporting back to someone who has ill will for you. And you think because you're not into witchcraft or seances or anything like that, you're not putting needles into any voodoo dolls. You think that no one else would do that to you, but people have idle minds. This world is not kind to everyone. Their experiences pushes people to different lengths. And a lot of Christians, I've felt myself times where I was frustrated with God. And you don't know how vulnerable people are when they reach their breaking point. And they're like, you know what? If I got to be here, I'm going to wreak havoc. Those are the covens who are spying on you. Now, in the bloodline, how is this impacting you every day? People are innocently checking on you, reporting back that information so that they can manipulate it and plan and plot. So now you be getting phone calls from people all of a sudden. You notice you post something on social media and all of a sudden some people want to hit you up. You show you got a new job, you show you got some money, you got a man, good relationship, you got a house. And now suddenly people want to just be cool with you. This is the influence of the chosen one. Whoever you influence and impact, it's like it's spread, it's contagious. Now other people want to get, they want to see what's up. Innocent, right? But one of those is Judas. They're priming you to see they have a need they need to fulfill, and can you fulfill it? Later down the line, can you fulfill their need? What is that need? We don't know. A lot of people, our elder narc parents, they need to know if you came into money so that they can plan on the retirement that they fumbled. It's many layers to this. Why are people checking in on you? Okay? Because if they not listen, God said if people aren't doing bad against you, if they're not harming you, then it doesn't affect you. As long as somebody is not vocally against you and they're just minding their own business, then don't make them an enemy. But there are people who inquire about you who are your complete enemy. They need that information so that they can weaponize it against you. They're gonna take that information, how much money you're making. Did you and your partner get married? How much money did you spend on around Christmas? Because they have a need for themselves. Now, what is the need? They neglect themselves. A lot of people are toxic. Chosen ones, they see the abundance God placed in your life and they want to siphon it. That's the whole point. They want to take from you so that you're unaware of your worth. And then by the time you've expounded and given everything you've got to everybody, now you don't have anything for yourself, and now you're not motivated. You can't finish your fitness journey. You can't eat healthy. Now you've got health issues. And now you look at it and you're like, dang, I was making myself smaller and smaller for everyone in my family to feel comfortable around me. And now I done lost my spark. Let's get into these other videos.
About your childhood, okay? Let's talk about your childhood.
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 Talking about my childhood isn't going to help us. So what was your childhood like?
What was yours like?
Let's talk about your anger. That's why you're here, right?
I'm not angry. I don't know why I'm here.
Let's just try another approach.
Let's
okay?
try another approach.
All right. Do you sleep well at night?
Do you sleep well at night?
Let's try not to answer a question with a question. Could we do that? Could we at least do that?
Yes, if we at least stop asking me all these questions, I won't have to answer a question with a question now, will I?
Can you stop? Can you just stop?
Can you just stop? Can you just stop?
Okay. Look,
Are you getting angry, doctor?
this isn't getting anywhere.
This is not getting anywhere.
No.
there was this one time in the beginning of my spiritual awakening that I was talking to one of my family members that I now know it was a monitoring spirit. And I am a projector. I'm a Gemini projector. So there's a lot to that. I have a lot to say, and I'm really good at advice, but I can only give it to you if you ask. So that was the thing. And I started to initiate that within my life. And so when people ask me questions, they were my favorite, because I knew that was my invitation. I could just spill all the knowledge and beans, and if they, understood the importance of the information and knowledge that I was telling them, because if they use that correctly, they could excel in their life. But most people don't want to, because that would mean they'd have to self-reflect and take accountability for their actions in the past and in the present. And not very many people want to do that. So anyways, I was sitting there chit-chatting with one of my monitoring spirits family members, and my discernment told me, watch your mouth. And so I sat there and I was very quiet. And then I told her, I said, I can't be around people very often because I can see their potential, but they don't want to see their own potential. And if they choose not to grow, then they can't go with me on this journey. And she told me, so what do you see that I need to fix? Oh, buddy, that was my invitation. And I just straight up told her. I said, you know what? And she's like 70 years old. And I told her, I said, until you start choosing yourself, instead of choosing your family and what your mom and your sisters need, you're never going to have a relationship with your daughter, because you chose them over your own daughter. And you're going to continue to choose them until you choose yourself. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's when the mask fell and I saw the truth behind the face. Because it was like a flip of a switch. I could see her go from, let me know what you think about me, to, oh fuck, she just read me like a book. So yeah, it's been a crazy journey.
And she's talking about her very own mom, which I can relate. You see, a lot of Christian households become tainted because there's someone who has the light and they're the seeker of God. And they end up losing it because they're housing and harboring all these people who hold darkness. And because that's their son or their sister or their childhood friend, they make way for them in their life. But they don't take heed to the Christian scripture that says that Christ came to bring a sword, and that daughter will be separated from mother and father and son. This is very pivotal. It gives you permission to cut people out in your life. The very first unaliving in history in the Bible was the very first children of Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel. Can we prevent that of our own lives? Who's the Cain and Abel in your family? Siphoning the energy. And the issue is, her intentions may be good with her mom, and she wants to help mom and have hope that she can see what's happening. Like, mom, you're a great person, but it's the people you are attached to that are draining you. And mom is now going to be upset, because if she really was a seeker of light, if she really had enough abundance in her, she would accept that and be like, you know what? You're right. It's hurtful, but it's right. And I need to start cleaning house. But that's not the case. A lot of the narcs you'll uncover will be in your bloodline, who sit high. Your mom, your grandma, your great grandpa, whoever sits high and is still alive. You'll find that they actually like the chaos. And that's when the chosen ones of underneath, the former chosen ones, so to speak, the newer generation underneath the former leaders and heads of households, those people, like, look, this is a generational curse. I'm clocking it, and I need to do something about it. And now the shame and the guilt, the family secrets that were bestowed upon your lap, you're chucking it right back to them. You're like, hold on. Society won't accept me. My purpose in God, When I submit my plans, God rejects it. Why? Okay. That reminds you that you cannot seek approval from a generation that's cursed.
Witches and warlocks have a serious staring issue. A monitoring spirit is what we would call it. They stare at you to try to siphon your energy, to study you, to assert dominance, to intimidate you, to scare you, and it's probably a plethora of other reasons that they stare at you as well. They are super creepy. There were many a times that I caught my warlock just staring at me, and he still do because I work with the motherfucker. I just catch him in the distance staring, and each time we make eye contact, that bitch turn his head real fast. Overly obsessed. Overly mesmerized. Overly mad he didn't break me. Overly mad I upped my value. Imagine trying to break and humble somebody and it end up backfiring. You gotta see me every day glowing and growing, getting the attention that you want, overall leveling up in life. Y'all, I don't know what the fuck I do. I probably go home and cry every night. No exaggeration. Like, he probably accomplished those things with his past situations, but baby, this a different breed. My mama, my daddy, and both sides of their family been trying to break me since a young age. It has yet to happen, and that damn show don't stop at no nigga. All right, y'all, we done got off track. Seriously, the motherfuckers just stare. If you work with them, they gonna stare at you. If you in any proximity to them, they gonna stare at you. When you sleep and you wake up, baby, they gonna be staring right at you. They're creepy. They are mentally ill. Stay the fuck away from them. Wonderful.
Really dumb enough to think I'd tell you anything, you dumb dirty hoe. I wouldn't tell you what color socks I got on.
I want to be as raw as I can with you. You're going to have to cut off somebody that you grew up with your entire life. Your last living sibling, somebody's got to go. Because if you're going no contact with certain people in your family, or I'm going to give an example when like a dog takes a crap. You could pick up the crap with a napkin and, grab a mop and clean that one little spot. And then you sit there and like 2 hours later, you can still smell the crap. That's because it ruminates. And so now you realize you have to get a bottle of bleach and spray not just the part that had the crap on it. You got to spray the perimeter. You got to spray the air because it came in contact with it. It wasn't actual dookie, but it was just as bad as if it was, the smell. And that's what it is with the family. Who you cut off is the dookie. The people still attached to the dookie, that's that ruminating odor. And you're going to have to disinfect the entire perimeter, not just, I think you guys are getting the point here. Yeah, you guys got it. Because your life has purpose and you may not even know what it is yet. But the older you get, the more you can realize how others seen it before you did. You look back in childhood photos, you can see now what you could never see. The potential threat you were to society. You're now opening your eyes. This world is the influence that you have. You're not even aware. You're not even aware of the people who are thinking about you this very minute. And so we have to, make sure we keep in touch with other chosen ones so we can pass messages back and forth to one another. In this video clip, while I was walking away, the girl was talking about how warlocks have a staring problem. This is crazy, the things I learn every day, because I encountered someone who kept staring at me, and I never would have thought it was intentional. Yeah, it definitely makes you think. So we're going to wrap this up because you already know it's that time. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Make sure you thumbs up this video so that the algorithm could get it through and through. we've got a new subject matter, so the algorithm has to get used to it. It's not all about I hate my baby daddy, hate my baby daddy. We're talking more in depth. Um, I have 2 channels right now. One is the child free channel. I will continue to bring the child free community on this platform as well. However, this is more calling on my heart to be more spiritual. So it's more open to women of all walks of life and including some men. So that's going to be fun. I always wanted that on my channel. Anyways, you got the message and you got to use it. You got it, man. Think about every channel you clicked on today. That was intentional. Like Jay-Z said, out of anywhere in the world, you chose to be here with me. And when we die, our memories are the one thing, the vault that God allows you to keep. Nothing else. So that says a lot. Let's start thinking about why chosen ones are getting messages from other chosen ones. I'll talk to you guys in the next one.